what's the day-to-day life of a spiritual teacher like?
Okay, I think this topic has always intrigued a lot of people. People always have this question mark.
Mm.
Through all these many years of my learning and experience, I find that actually different country that you go to and the different audiences that you encounter actually really depends on geographically where they come from, what is their cultural background, what is the religion that is dominating in that area they're living, and also what kind of spiritual cap that they're putting on. And everyone, it seems to be very, very different. Their expectation on you, their belief system about you or about what a spiritual teacher or spiritual mentor should be, should looks like, should behave like, should talk like, and all that. So it really varies. But there's one very common thing that has already been a stigma and a norm, that is everybody seems to have this notion and idea that there is this kind of religious or godly likeness, very divine kind of demure that they have superimposed onto any spiritual teachers. And that is one thing that has caused much confusion in our this modern time actually. So they would want to see actually an angel or a divine being, a divinity, or even like God, you know, himself or herself manifesting in front of them. So this teacher, most likely, very, very unconsciously, they'll think that this teacher is almost like the Buddha statue that just sits there, doesn't eat, doesn't drink, doesn't go to the toilet, doesn't need to take shower, doesn't need to go to the polyclinic if they're not well. So that is this kind of idea that has already been superimposed onto a lot of, in fact, maybe every spiritual teachers, besides the New Age one, that which they have already have their a very new approach to what a spiritual teacher should be. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and sometimes I believe it puts pressure on some teachers coming in, and they can't be themselves. But of course, as human beings, and the spiritual teachings is that you connect deeply to yourself before you could connect with society and others. And if someone uh, can't be themselves, then
Yeah.
how can we teach others to be themselves, right? So I
Correct.
think about the authenticity part, it is very, very important as well, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So in fact, actually, authenticity, we talk about authenticity, then we want to look at, it's like, what kind of authenticity are we talking about or we are looking at? The authenticity as the person, the teacher himself, herself, in their most authentic and organic personality, or you're talking about an authenticity that is a mock-up authenticity, a doll-up kind of authenticity where you superimpose, you fabricate a kind of cut and paste idea of what this authenticity should be. So this one, I think a lot of practitioner, they get lost in this kind of maze where become 不清不楚, no? It's
Yeah.
like, one hand they want authenticity, but the other hand, they have already a fixed idea of how this authenticity can be. But how can you see authenticity by fixing something that is rigid in a box and then you call that being authentic, right?
Exactly. Yes, that's right. I think that is particularly very important as well. If someone were to put on an image of holiness per se, that they are so pure, right? Then it creates that distance as well.
Yes.
People put you on a pedestal, and they just assume they have this preconceived notion that, oh, this guru is at a state where it is unachievable for us. We just have to kowtow and worship him and
Uh-huh.
become like establish a cult following in a
Yeah.
sense, because we can never reach. So you have the authority up there, and that goes actually against the philosophy and the teachings of it, right? Because the
Precisely.
whole point, I believe, why as spiritual teachers are out to teach is to show people the path where they have experience or
Yes.
attained to, and to show them this is the path I've gotten here. I have developed some wisdom and insights, some peace, some meaning and purpose in life, and you can be directed onto it
Yes.
as well. That we are not walking in front of you. We are just walking side by side as your friend, like the Buddhist, the Pali word Kalayana Mitta, right? Be a good spiritual friend and guide you along. I think that's very important as well.
Yes.
It just made me recall that in the past, I believe Master Deron must have experienced this. People kind of want to protect our identities, saying that, oh, Sifu, you should be like this, you should be like that, right? And what I do notice that sometimes is their own suffering. They have this idea that if you don't behave in a certain regulated way, it's bad for you. And then they worry for you until they start to judge. They think others will judge you, but what they didn't realize is that they have already begun judging, and that's coming from the fault-finding mind, right? Which is very subtle, very hard to see.
Correct.
Because on the outside, they think, oh, I'm protecting your identity. But they do not know that they are trying to protect their idea of our identities, and that's causing them that suffering. They can't break free from that.
Precisely.
Right?
They are like protecting their own security, which they are afraid to lose it, because like this is the only thing that they have. And if even this little thing that they trust so much and they can put their whole mind and soul into it, and if this crumbles down, then where do I stand anymore? So that is most of the suffering that a lot of practitioner carries with them. And I feel that one of the very strong suffering that they carry is they always want to have this perfect teacher idea. That means this teacher got to be perfect in speech, perfect in action, perfect. Like exactly, the teacher must manifest exactly like what a scripture talks about. You see, we put it this way. We didn't live during the time of Lord Buddha. We didn't live during the time of Jesus. We didn't live in the time during where we were directly sitting, like now I'm listening to Master DK. As how if we are born during his time where we are sitting down there and Buddha is directly talking. But things has moved on for so long. And if you have not been living in that time, how do you experience and how do you know that Buddha never scolded anybody? How do you know that? You see, Jesus scolded so many people, but it's because of that being so organic and authentic that he got himself murdered. So this idea of this perfect being that we're looking for, we have to be very clear about it in this journey of searching, that we must understand that you can never find anyone that is perfect. And then, but people can argue, say, oh no, but I've been learning under so and so, I've been learning under this particular Rinpoche, I've been learning under this particular guru and all that, but they are perfect. They are perfect, it's because you did not live with them. You are not with them side by side 24 hours. Trust me, the minute if you are given the chance to stay with the guru, and if that guru wants to wake you up, immediately, very quickly, that guru will become your biggest enemy. Now, Facebook, you'll be quick to judge and fast to attack.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
There's a related question.
Yes, that's a question.
Randy. Are you enlightened?
I'm not.
For me, I'm not. It's not important for me whether I'm enlightened or not, because so what if I'm enlightened, or so what if I'm not enlightened? I still have to wake up every day. Life still goes on.
Yeah.
Right? There's still bills to pay. There are still people to attend to. There's still responsibility to uphold to. So it really doesn't matter. A lot of people might think that the minute you become enlightened and then you will just dissolve into stardust and just goes back into the 5 elements. I would love that. If that is really the case, then yeah, then we should, you know. Right. But no, whether you are enlightened or not. See, when the Buddha was enlightened, I believe during his older days, when he was much older, India wasn't peaceful every day. There were war. There were some feudal what they call it, this small little war among the different conflicts,
yeah,
right?
skirmish battles and all.
And he being the head of a religious, of his group of people, he have to be responsible for the monks' welfare, for their dana
That's right.
every day and all that. So he also have a responsibility.
It's about how you have this kind of conscious leadership,
That's right.
how you can guide people and not to incite further violence and anger to
Precisely.
people, teach them how to address their suffering. It's, some people also ask like enlightenment, what is enlightenment, what is nirvana, what is moksha. You can read so many books, listen to so many talks, and I always tell them this is what my Shifu say, who is the abbot of this temple. He says, "Oh, I'll tell you when I get there." Right? Because otherwise there's no point, right? I mean, what matters more is that how can we respond to the sufferings of our times, and how can you respond to the happy moments of our time?
Correct.
And how can you live in such a way that you're actually awakened to the reality that you're actually alive and you're a human being.
Yes.
That I think it's just part of being human, isn't it? So enlightenment or not, I don't know, but one thing I believe that we all can agree is that if someone says they're enlightened, pack your bag, run away.
So that, I like that. That's old saying that said, if you say that you're enlightened, then you're also not enlightened. But to say that you're not enlightened, you are also equally foolish. But whether it is enlightenment or not enlightenment, I think in this modern world, in this 21st century, it is more precious to understand that there is a responsibility that we have already taken this birth, we already have taken a role in this drama of life, and life goes on every day with its own material purpose, and to fulfill it to the best, to the fullest, and to make it happy. That itself, whether you want to see it as enlightenment or not, it's really up to you. But to think that to be in a particular state of mind and then suddenly all just collapse and disappear, and then your bills also disappear, your health problem disappear, your relationship problem disappear, everything disappear, I think that is a kind of hallucination that people have about enlightenment.
Even if you're enlightened and you want to go to another country, you still need a passport, you still need a visa, you still need to buy your plane ticket, and perhaps now you still need your vaccination cert if it's needed, right? So it doesn't change anything external. The whole glory of what enlightenment is that a lot of people have this misconception about. I also like one thing that Master Deron, when you mentioned about during the Buddha's time, and how about there's kind of sense of level of perfectionism. Of course, I mean, we give credit. We know that Buddha laid down the teachings for 2,500 years. Mindfulness is still very active, and now spiritual practice is still here. But one thing people don't realize that now we can read so much scriptures, like you said. But the Buddha, he was known to be a mendicant monk. He traveled around. He could go to this town, and then he gave teaching to this particular group of people, and then he would leave. And those people at that time, they don't have Google, don't have Facebook. That's just their teaching, which is for them, and they could just use their teaching, and then they can practice. Correct. They don't have to go and search around so much, right? And that, I think, is about the dedication of practice, because these days we are exposed to so many data coming in, different kind of interpretation of the teachings, or even new modalities. Right, so many things coming in. People are just accumulating empowerments, and I go for this course, then maybe I can get enlightenment. I go for this course, my whole chakra aligned, I could fly out, my soul can fly out. So these are the things, right? And Master Deron has 30 years of experience teaching, not 2,500 years ago, but in the modern world, right? In the present moment. So what is your experience like, on how can one be truly dedicated to practice, and are people actually really committed to the practice?
Okay, I think this one, when Master DK brought it up, I think this is a very interesting thing to discuss about. You see, in ancient time, or before this 21st century and all that, any particular kind of teaching, they are by in itself precious, because it is hard to come by. Seekers were moved and walk for miles and miles, long distance to climb up the mountain in search for a particular teaching, a particular spiritual science to learn and then to improve themselves. But in this modern time, it's no longer like that, right? We all know everything is in Google, everything is in the internet, and every modality, it's so easily available. And even during those days, besides the search, the journey to search for that particular teacher, to search for the particular knowledge, that's also provided if the teacher wants to admit you into their center, or to admit you into their organization to teach you. But nowadays, it's no longer in that way. Majority, everybody can just sign up for a workshop, can sign up for a class. This is one. Two, the mindset of those people then, when they go in search for a particular modality, or they go in search for a particular spiritual training, they have with them a clear understanding that they are searching this is to understand the true nature of their self, and then it's really for a spiritual upliftment, whether you call it for enlightenment or for permanent happiness. But nowadays, the search, it's more academic. The motivation behind that search is no longer about enlightenment or about wanting to search for a happiness that it's more long-lasting, but it is just knowledge. It is just academic, it's just like collecting certificates, collecting diplomas. So that makes the thing very different nowadays comparing to those days when people go up to the mountain, to Utang, or to the Himalayas to search for the guru and to ask for a particular teachings. That is one of the next thing that has happened in this modern society. So that means knowledge is also too easily available. The ideology of searching for that knowledge has also evolved and changed. So for myself, I find that if we want to talk about being dedicated, maybe one of the important points we want to look at is what is our motivation in going into all this spiritual learning or modality or path.
Yes, I think that's very important, right? That as seekers, you have to be very, very clear, right? And there's actually no right or wrong answer on why
precisely.
you're engaging in that. But it's good to be clear of what you want and have that communication. And then you also know if this teacher or that teacher is able to give you what you're seeking for.
Correct.
Right? And it helps you to manage your expectations and align with it. So this is very great. So whoever is watching this, we invite you to just type in the comment section, what is your motivation, to begin your spiritual journey, or to when you're looking out for a course or a workshop, or perhaps some of you, I see that, you have actually signed up for Master Deron's upcoming 4-week medicine Buddha Yoga Nidra course. We'll get there later. We'll talk more about it later. But perhaps you could just type down in the comments, what is the motivation behind it, right? So please just just leave it there.
Shall we
Yes.
take some of the questions?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to pick some questions. Some of your questions have come in.
Wendy has a very simple one. You already answered whether you are enlightened.
Okay, one from Helen. How curious to know what started you both on your spiritual journeys? From Regine, have you guys ever lost friends as the result of starting your spiritual journey or being spiritual?
And there's one more. What would be the message for us about what is happening now?
Right? Sorry, the second line I didn't get it very
clear. Lost friends because of this spiritual.
Oh, lost friends. Oh, this is very interesting. Oh, this is something. Yeah, this is something very important. Maybe Master DK, you kick this ball first.
I'll share
and I hope for you.
Yes. So I will just answer in the most honest and the most candid way, because we touch on spiritual search and journey. Okay, number one is that whether one is on a spiritual journey or not, people come and go in life. I have a video we all can watch later. Then we talk about relationship and attachment. Things are impermanent. People come and go. But when you go into a spiritual journey, I did lose friends at the start because I was ignorant. Right? Because I was very new at the time. I got into monkhood. It's like, whoa, these are the answers I'm searching for. The whole new world has opened up. And then I practiced meditation. I received the teaching. I felt it was very powerful and transformative for me. And because I was so young and ignorant, I went around telling people that you should meditate. You should meditate. Got problem? Okay, meditate. Or got problem? Go observe your mind. Without even engaging in a compassionate way, because I thought I was compassionate, but I was speaking from my ego. And that pushed people away. It's like, don't go look at DK. He'll just ask you to sit down, meditate, and zen. Can't have a proper conversation with him, right? However, of course, we learn from the journeys. After that, things, we know how to engage with people, and then don't really lose friends. But the thing is that people still come and go in life, and we can't control it, right? Even if you are responding to the friendship with the best kindness, with the right boundaries, but a lot of people don't understand is that other people have their own journeys as well. They have what is happening in their life. When they kind of disappear from your life at that moment, it may not be your fault, right? There could be reasons on why they're shunning away. Because I have met friends who shun away from me back in those years. But about 2 or 3 years later, they came back to me, just like that. They came to seek help, seek some guidance. But because I was not attached to my relationship with them, of course, you do your best to nurture relationship. But when people leave, then I just look at who else is in my present moment who I can be friends with, right? And just continue doing what I'm doing. And then in a way, when you do that, your own light glows even brighter. Then people tend to come back. Or whatever your message you have, the message you have to word is spread to that person indirectly. You don't have to be the one. But long story short, when people came back to me, sometimes I do get feedback from them. They said, Master DK, the reason why I disappeared was I was very down. And I felt afraid to approach you. And I felt afraid to approach anyone who is positive in my life. Because I believe that I will affect people. So there are people, sometimes when you're depressed, they will just shun away. It's very hard for them to just open up. So it's not entirely a person's problem. That's just my sharing. So, Master Deron.
Well, for me, okay, I think the first question that one of our audience asked was, what started? Okay, I want to be very honest with everybody. Okay, I don't want to paint a nice picture, because for me, this is my principle. It is wrong to hard sell myself because I'm sitting down here and I'm supposed to talk about spirituality, and I'm being introduced as a spiritual mentor or as a teacher. Therefore, I have to also hard sell myself by putting in all the very politically correct words. So I want to be also very honest, and I want to strip totally very naked to everybody. That is, if you ask me how do I get into this journey, I don't want to say that because it's true. It's not because I love the spiritual path so much, or because I swear by the spiritual path so much. It must be a few reasons that I came in. Definitely the one main reason, the first reason is I stumbled into spirituality. It's because, one, I'm very unhappy since young. I'm miserable. I'm always upset. Okay, to cut all the other long story short, it's just this big, whatever the situation be. The whole idea is because I'm not happy. So naturally, when you're not happy, you want what you do? You look for happiness, right? So of course, you look for happiness when you're young. You look for happiness in all the different areas in life, right? And then so happen to be you're born in a Buddhist family, and then from young you already attended Buddhist Dharma classes and all that. So this is one of the next complementary sidekick that you got that you can go and find some solace. So this is one of the reasons why I came to spirituality and I went in more. It's because number one, I'm not happy. Two, if you ask me, do I really like my what I'm doing right now, comparing to what I really like, to be very honest, my dream is to be a singer. I've been singing since when I was young. In the army, I was with music and drama company, and I've been performing in lounge, in the nightclubs and all that. And that is actually what I really love. And it's what I'm really good at. But I just don't know how come, you know. And okay, sometimes things happen is also because of, okay, we say karma. To me, karma, for me, my understanding of karma, it's about my choice. So I choose to become an obedient child at home because my parents all disagree that singing is good. Or nightlife and all this is bad, there's no future to be a singer and all that thing. So because I want to please them, I want to make them happy and all that, so okay, I make that choice. Okay, so I will not become a singer. Then I try to work, you know, I did have many jobs and all that. But don't know why there's always this something that always in the end will lead me to a teacher, and then that teacher seems to be so interested in me, will put in so much of their effort to groom me, to teach me, to share with me all their teachings, their techniques, their blah blah blah, whatnot, and all that. So and that's how suddenly it's like 不知不觉, you know, without even knowing and all that, suddenly you just get swept into the current. It's just like, actually, you didn't even plan to be in the water, but you were just at the side of the beach there, you're just playing with some water, and then suddenly the wave come and just swept you into it. So I just got swept into it, and then things just unfold. So in the end, the singer part didn't happen, fail, tak jadi. So in the end, it became to start sharing and teaching about spirituality. Then the next question comes is, did I lose friends? Oh, that one I lose a lot, really a lot. Why? You see, if we want to be humble, let's say, okay, we have to appear to be humble a little bit, then we doesn't sound cocky and arrogant and all that. So it's the path that all those teachers that I'm trained under, they're all very orthodox. They're all very, in a way, very structured and very strict. There are rules. Just like we've been into the monastic life, right? There are vinayas to follow. So when I went into Tantra, and when my teacher one day told me that, yeah, you must help me to spread this knowledge of Sri Vidya Tantra, to educate more people to understand what is the worship of the goddess and all that. But during that time, I was also being taught that not only when you share and you teach, but when you have your students and all that it's under you, you have to inculcate along together with ethics, with morality. It's almost like a kind of vinaya in that sense. And that's where the problem comes in. Because when you, in Tantra, because when you try to break their mindset, to break their kind of pattern, then it becomes offensive. So in that journey, in that course, I've made a lot of silly mistakes. I call them silly mistakes now, because I would like to use the word, I should have been careless. But I have been really careless. I've been careless is because all I wanted is to protect them. I want to love them because I felt that it's just like when you become a parent and then you find that that is the thing. Huh? So, and for that reason, I became careless and I made a lot of enemies along the way by reprimanding them and enforcing certain things into them. And that's how I lose a lot of friends.
Yeah. So it's about actually still back to the
Yes.
basics of mindfulness being one.
Yes.
That's very good insight. So we have more questions coming in. Let us just go through them. We'll take a 2 minutes pause. Just a 2 minutes break. We need to drink some water. So we'll just see you back in 2 minutes. thank you all. We're back again because early on we were going to take something that I forgot to actually bring up. So we are actually very grateful that all of you actually took this time off during a lunchtime to
Yeah.
engage in this conversation. Hope that that you all have a lot of takeaways so far. But then we want to reward all of you as well. So whoever stayed till the end, we're going to have a Q&A later to see what you have actually learned from this session, right? And we're going to give away this takrut. It is a sacred silver scroll. It's done by myself. It's being inscribed and chanted into. This is a very good blessing in the pocket that you can bring along with you. So we're going to have this gift away, like a lucky draw based on a Q&A towards the end. So stay till the end. Don't worry. There's only one. But yes, just get ready, pay attention, take down your notes and everything, right, of what we've covered so far, or what's important. All right? So Master Deron, so we also understand there are some people talking about mantras, and chakras based on the Q&As. And you're coming on, I think it's next week, right, to guide in this Medicine Buddha Yoga Nidra program, which a lot of us personally have experienced it. We think it's a very wonderful thing as well that you're guiding these, right? So would you like to share more about what is this Medicine Buddha? What is Medicine Buddha Tantra and the Yoga Nidra coming in together? So we'd like to share more about this program.
I think to make it very easy for people to understand, that is this Medicine Buddha Yoga Nidra. It's a sleeping meditation that comes with healing. I try to put in this all this possibility to heal a person with sleep, and then with sound therapy, which comes from the mantra, and then also together that comes in with mindfulness meditation. So in this Yoga Nidra, the participant will just lie down in the cot pose, and then with Medicine Buddha mantra being played along. So mentally they can listen, or mentally they can recite this mantra, and then with a focus on different areas of the body. So this Medicine Buddha Yoga Nidra, because I find that a lot of people in this 21st century have sleeping problems, insomnia problems. And we all know that actually a lot of things in life, whether is it a physical pathology or is it an emotional problems and all that, sleep actually plays a very big role in helping a person to self-recover, or it gives them more energy to deal with whatever things they need to deal, whether is it a physical sickness or it is a mental, emotional sickness, maybe even you can say it's a spiritual sickness. So sleep, which nowadays has become something very precious, where people is sleeping less because of the mind has become too active. And when the mind becomes too active, and then you find that a lot of hormonal changes is also happening in the system. And because of that bombarding of the change in the hormones in the body, and then with also wrong lifestyle, dietary problems and all that, and then we become sick.
Yes. So I understand that it also goes deeper into the subtle body of things, right? And on how you can balance the different nadis and channel the different energies throughout. And so a lot of people have actually experienced profound transformation from it as well. So I've sent some of my students into the course as well, and they found that it's actually progressive from what they learned from me, and it's not like other different kind of modalities whereby we just learn something that it seems just off topic of what their current practice is. And I found that it was very beautiful, because when I sent my students to learn from you, they told me that it is progressive, they can continue on. And even the new people who came in, they also felt a very significant and profound, I would say, a kind of spiritual experience. So what is that experience, or what is that science, that the spiritual science behind it in the Medicine Buddha Yoga Nidra?
Spiritual science.
Because there's some magic over there, I know maybe you don't like the word magic, but there is some magical experience that people have felt like like very profoundly.
I think the magic word that we can say, the magic you can say is that those who have experienced this yoga nidra with medicine Buddha is that they find more peace with themselves, and that itself is one magic. And then there are also those I remember those days where they private text you and they give very positive feedback that they went for certain checkup and or they did certain MRI and all that, and then later on they got satisfactory results from it. Okay, so this can also be one of the magic.
So it can potentially help in this kind of areas.
Correct. And the magic, I want to say, like, it helps on the spiritual side, whether the nadis or the chakras and all that. This is too subtle to really talk about. We can talk about it during the class itself, but if you want to make it a bit more realistic and scientific, because this is something where it's there, but then you cannot touch, you cannot see,
you have to
feel.
actually experience it, right? On their
Then if we talk too much, then it becomes no different from another kind of new age modality, or it becomes another kind of pseudoscience.
Yes, that's right.
Right. So I try to make this medicine Buddha healing something more scientific and something more medically accepted. But here I want to make a very strong disclaimer. So medicine Buddha Tantra, it's a very holistic approach. It doesn't encourage you to stop whatever treatment that you're going through right now from your doctors or your specialists or conventional treatment. It never tells you to stop. It doesn't go against that. In fact, it supports that and it helps. It's like a complement. A complementary therapy,
Complements therapy,
right?
Yeah.
But if you really want to see results in your life, if you have this pain, that pain, and all whatever problems it is, you must understand that, because I don't want to give empty promises also. Then later on say, oh no, you all talk so much about it, and then why, you know. It is a very holistic approach. Along this 4 journey, these 4 weeks that we go, we walk together, we journey across together, you must also make promises to alter your lifestyle, the way you think, the way you eat, the amount of exercise that you do. Then together with and plus also your social gathering, your how your social life is, then together with the yoga nidra, if you're a normal person, then fine, this is it. But if you are already having some pathology and you're under some doctor's supervision, go for it together. Then you see that is the miracle. That is the solid miracle.
Yeah, and I like the idea what you mentioned about adopting the lifestyle, right? So because medicine Buddha, it can be seen as a real being, or it can be seen as an archetype. That's in Tantra, and it's not just about visualizing medicine Buddha during your practice, but actually embodying and emanating the teachings and the qualities of medicine Buddha throughout your life, right? Adopting a lifestyle change, and I guess healing also goes into healing our relationships with ourselves, our relationship with others, and when all these are kind of cleared and attuned, that's where then we can talk about the attunement of the higher self, or even what's up there. Which I like what you mentioned about the experience part, because a lot of people think that they can just read it off and then have this knowledge that gets in the path of their wisdom to get a real discernment into their experience. That's very wonderful. So the question?
Maybe I'll just ask a few questions.
Yeah, so we'll
answer. If I already practice meditation on a daily basis, should I go for the medicine Buddha yoga nidra course?
Okay. You can, because this medicine Buddha yoga nidra will enhance your meditation. Whatever meditation that you're doing right now, this technique itself can give an extra boost to what other style of meditation that you're doing.
What if I've never tried meditation before?
What if you never tried meditation before?
Then it will be a good experience, because it is very simple. You just lie down. And you just go to sleep.
It's an effortless way to drop into the meditative
There's
state.
no demand or expectation that you have to be in a certain state of mind. You have to be concentrating on too much on this. And what happens if I fall asleep? That is what we want you to do. Fall asleep, and subconsciously, things are working in that level.
I think one thing, and one more thing is to understand at the Hermitage, when we provide this kind of meditation experiences or trainings, we are in a way we get a lot of feedback from people that say that, wow, I never knew that I could meditate for 10 minutes, but with you, when I come to Hermitage, I could sit for 30 minutes or 45 minutes and time just passed. I'm not trying to say that at the Hermitage the teachers are great or whatever, no. The thing about this is that any teacher, any true meditation teacher that you go to will be able to guide you into meditation.
Yes.
But if you have encountered teachers that can't guide you in, I guess the question to ask is that how trained is that teacher? Does a teacher actually embody that practice? Because nowadays there's a lot of certifications in 6 months. You can get that qualification to become a teacher. But meditation, it is a very personal journey, and it takes a long time to really discern, to really understand and penetrate into it. So since Elman, you asked this question, right? So that is it, right? So that is the importance when selecting a teacher. You may not have to come to Hermitage. You could be having a teacher elsewhere, but just bear in mind on that. And no teacher will actually force you to silence your mind.
Yeah.
We'll get that more. We'll get into that, I think, in the course. This will be we talk about as well. Well, one interesting question, Jane, can you repeat again, Jane? Energy exchange. Great. So, we just have tag teams here. They are receiving messages from different sources, right? So Jane asked this question about energy exchange, right? And they say that some people say that why do organizations or teachers, what is energy exchange, and why should they be paying for spirituality? I'm not going to answer the question because I'm going to pass it to Master Deron, 30 years of experience.
Actually, this topic about energy exchange that has become a very sensitive topic, but I find that the more sensitive it is, the more we need to address it to clear the very big misunderstanding. I just had this same talk about this energy exchange with Brian Sifu. It's like I brought up and asked the audience. Now I ask you all this question for a change instead. Then you all type and say,
yeah, that's
can you find out who was the main founder that says that spirituality must be for FOC one? Who was the first person who came up with this lovely idea that anything that relates to pai, prayers, meditation, chanting must be free? See, this whole idea of being free, I think it's also being mixed up and confused during the early times. See, words always get corrupted along the way.
First, I want to share, I remember the retreat you shared about going up the mountain.
Yeah, but you don't go up to the mountain for free. The teacher will tell you, okay, you go and cut woods and bring back firewoods. You wash the clothes. You stay in the kitchen and cook for 10 years. You have to feed the cow in the farm. You milk the cow in the farm for 10, 20 years for some people. And that is a kind of exchange too. But are you going to do that now? Like say, come to Hermitage, stay here for 5 years and mop this floor every day, prepare lunch and dinner, breakfast for everyone? No, right?
I guess some people are not even willing to take leave to fly up to some mountains, and that actually costs a lot of opportunity, cost and time. So what I'm trying to say is that energy exchange is what we can give. And I find that, in fact, money is just super convenient. And it's actually cheaper than the energy exchange that we need, right?
Yeah. And nowadays, I think people also don't need our temple and also don't need you to be here to mop the floor for them, because they also understand now you have a job, everyone is busy and all that. They can always engage some part-time cleaners to come and clean and all that. The main thing is that you are supporting in these activities, where these activities can continue to grow and can continue to reach out to more people. That is more meaningful.
Yeah, I guess it makes a lot of sense. We're sitting in front of a lot of lightings and cameras and a lot of microphones as well. I think these are the things that a lot of people don't understand, that even running, being a spiritual teacher, you have to do a lot of the administrative tasks. You need to do the emailing.
Yeah.
You need to do a lot of these things to reach out, right? And if a teacher gets just stuck at doing all these things, then how can the teacher come and teach you? Because the teacher would not have enough time to
Correct.
practice anymore. And in fact, yeah, if anyone, I did mention this to people before, that if they want to, like, we always offer scholarships as well, right? But we also offer a FOC. But the FOC, I tend to ask them, you want FOC? And these people are people who can pay. They have money, right? But they say, I think it should be free. So I always tell them, there's free ones, you go to the free ones.
Oh, that's so common.
You just go to the free ones. Or I
Uh-huh.
say, you come and do like what Master Deron has shared. Oh, I need help in admin. I need help in marketing. Oh, I need someone to clean all my equipment. I need someone to clean my house as well. I need someone to cook for me. Are you willing to do that? So they'll always look at me. No, but you should be giving it to us very freely. But they kind of forget the idea, right?
I think people also have forgot that the world now has already evolved. This is the 21st century. We still hear things. I mean, this is the same topic that's no far from the difference when people start to criticize monks and nuns. Oh, they are monks and nuns and they are driving. Or what are they doing in the supermarket? What do you expect the monks and nuns to do? If the temple is in Sengkang, walk all the way down to Orchard Road? Come on. Or there's a Maranasati, or there's a prayer to do for the dead. You want them to what? Ride on a horse? Or to walk? Things has changed. But if we cannot also move in time and we say that I want to be spiritual, then that is a very big something. Dang, dang, dang. We have to really sit down and really reflect already, is there something really very off? Has the spirituality make us very off? Yes?
So what did energy exchange really mean? Does it mean we are trying to get spiritual progression and you have exchanged it by exchanging away material energy?
Now you see it as you are exchanging this energy exchange. Actually, it's a very modern word. Last time people don't use this energy exchange. But to get anything, I think there is a value to everything, right? There's always some price to pay, whether you pay in material form or you pay it with emotions, or you pay. There's always one trade-off one. In life, in this relative world, to think that there's 100% something that you do and you don't get anything, you don't need to exchange anything, it's not. So why people say this energy exchange is because you want to receive this, because you feel that there is this value, this teaching, this meditation, or whatever I'm taking from this person, this teacher, it's so precious because this will lead me to what is your ideation. So that is so this energy exchange we're talking about is the value of this thing. But to say that because it is spiritual, it doesn't, you cannot exchange anything, that means it doesn't have a value. That is why this problem now in the modern society is people, I take this teaching, I learn, but it's like digging hole. So many holes, so many wells, but no water. Because no value.
Is that what happens when we go for a practice, but this practice is given free by somebody?
Precisely. Free things, what do you do? Most of the time you take, half the time you throw.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're not saying that the free things are not good. There are good free things. Like recently we did at Hermitage, we did an online retreat. We provided it for free because of the lockdown, the recent phase 2 heightened measures, right? So we had 3 segments. In the morning, there was a lot of people. When we reached the last segment, people have already dropped out. Why? Because it is free of charge. There's no value. People don't cherish it. I think which is very important as well, right, to note. So I remember Master Deron also mentioned before that there are people, I guess you also got like negative feedback, or people just criticize, right, like spiritual teachers, or what are you charging and all. And then the question is that because they think that it's doing something of value to the world, I had someone came up to me telling me that as well, and she works in pharmaceutical. So I told her, since you're doing health science or pharmaceutical, doing something good, then why don't you just don't take your salary?
Yeah.
If that is your philosophy,
Precisely.
then don't take your salary, channel it back to the
Yeah.
world, right? I mean, you go and see a doctor, you pay up as well. So the doctor can run his clinic and continue to actually do more, expand to help more people, or even creating jobs, right? Helping the economy. So spirituality is not what we see in movies few thousand years ago, that you can just live in a mountain, you don't have to pay tax, you don't have to pay rent,
Yeah.
right? I mean, people said to bring you food, that's what you mentioned about. But now we are coming down back to the city, descending the mountain, and we need to
Be practical.
Be practical, yes.
Right? You got to be. So spirituality that doesn't make one also being practical, it's also a very big danger in this 21st century.
Yeah, I find it a bit sad as well, because I met another master, as a Taoist master. He's very humble, very compassionate, in his 70s. He has to slog his life to drive Grab. And at night, he goes for consultations to help people based on ang pao. Right? And ang pao, sometimes he receives is just $12. So it's like, so that also, so when we look at it, a respectful teacher, very respectful, he's doing good for the world, but he has to slog at the age of 70 to drive Grab. That to me doesn't feel right at all.
Yeah.
I appreciate what Master Deron, when you mentioned about this, of highlighting this education on it. So yes, Donnie, we, in fact, at the Hermitage, we do offer scholarships. No, we did mention as well. We don't shut our doors to people who can't afford to pay. But there is a trade-off. We want your commitment, right? Your commitment and your dedication, not to us, but to your practice, and to your loved ones. Now, how can you improve all this? So there's always a different kind of trade-off, something, the energy that you need to output, you need to put out to show your dedication. In the past, I remember, we have to actually go and beg. Sometimes we beg for teachers to teach us, and we have to prove our work, prove how sincere we are, and it takes years, before they even teach you. Like one of my masters, I asked for mantra. It took me years, and he only gave me one very short mantra, just like that. But there is value in that,
Precisely, because you really know how precious this short mantra, the value is, how precious and how powerful it can be.
Yes. So yes, we offer the needs-based, the skill-based pricing that's in the comment. We do offer that. We always open up, people just write in to us. We're not going to ask for your income tax, but one thing is that Master Deron and I, we don't drink Starbucks every day, or even rarely. So if you can afford to drink Starbucks once or twice a week, maybe the question to ask is, why are you asking for the scholarship?
Okay.
Right? So something like, if you have a spa package, you have a gym membership, you go for facial. Do you go for facial?
No, I don't.
Okay. So I guess that's us. So we're going to sum it up real quick, but just feel free to write into us. Maybe anything, one last sentence to add?
Okay. Since we touch on this, and it's very rare we got chance to really talk about this energy exchange thing. We just sum up. I just want to share with the audience that is one thing. Those who can give free one, okay, there's also a very logic. There's a logic behind it. These are the two real incidents that I've seen people in my life who can give free. There was one, this like talking about like 20 years ago, there's this one Angmo lady who teaches New Age modality, yoga and Reiki and all that. She does it totally for free. And because of that, she spoiled the market of all the other teachers in Reiki and all that. But why she can give for free is because she's a Tai. And her husband is one of the really big shots in one of the big company here in Singapore. So she don't need the 3 meals, she don't need any of all this. So she can give free.
So I believe, so right? These are the...
Then the other one, it's the Vedanta society where I was trained under, most of the teachers, they're all taken care by the organization. All the meals, their health program and all that, it's taken care of. So they don't have to ask for any energy exchange in that sense. So, but if the teacher is independent and is not being taken care of by anybody, then you have to touch your own heart and ask yourself, is energy exchange something that is very
understand. I think one thing to point out would be very important as well. We're going to wrap this up real quick. Is that as teachers, when or healers, sometimes when you reach out and help people in spiritual work, right? There is a karmic exchange whereby whatever unwholesome karma there is, the teacher actually takes them on, and the teacher actually transfers his or her own meritorious karma to you. And this karma, there's a whole science behind it of what we can do with it. We can cultivate to purify them. But as teachers who are providing this kind of services, we actually need to use money to dispel it, and which is what to do our own prayers, our donations, our charity as well. Because we had this conversation before, but since we're on live now, just to put it out there, that there are some people who do a lot of things for free, but they absorb a lot of karma because they do not understand that they have to give back in a way, but because they did not receive and they are unable to give back, then the sickness, the luck, and all this happens as well.
And that's where the most of the practitioner or the teacher just disappear.
You see the free ones, they disappear very quickly. The not free one, they have a big organization, right? Which is what we're setting up. That's why we have volunteers and all at the Hermitage helping as well right now to do it, right? So life for spiritual teachers, we do work hard as well, right? So we come to the end of the talk. Thank you, Master Deron.
Thank you, Master DK, also for this very nice, suddenly impromptu invitation, and then it's a good catch up back again after 1.5 years.
Thank you for opening up to come back to teach again and to share your wisdom and your humor with everybody. I feel that's very important. And thank you all of you for being here. Right, so we've come to the end, and I hope that you have your takeaways. All right, so now it's time for this Takrut give away. Right, so we're gonna ask you a question. Right, what is the most important thing to factor in when you're embarking on a spiritual journey, or you're going to sign up for a workshop or class? What is the most important motivation? So just type it down in the comments section, and then we will read it out. All right. There is a latency of 15 seconds on Facebook Live. So just write it, just type it out. What is the most? And then we just pick a lucky winner. All right. It's very nice. I've not showed it to you all, have I?
I've seen this during when we were in chat at the time.
No, this is another one. This is a new one that that I made this earlier. I think earlier, was it earlier this year?
I think your lineage of Trakut is precious because your lineage Trakut is not easily available in any of all those Thai amulets.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not factory made also.
Yeah,
it's
handmade,
right? Yeah, silver.
A lot of chanting and all that.
That's right.
Can we take a closer look?
Okay, you can close. So what is the most important motivation? Just let me know, admin, if the comments are coming in. So this is the key. So I had to borrow it from one of the assistants who got this. So questions. Regine said, be clear on your intention / reason to do it. Any more? Anyone else? So just keep it coming. How much is this for? Worth? This is 100. I can't remember. 168. It's $168 and it's limited because when I made this, when I created this, I created it for my students who have been practicing with us for a long time. And this is I'm not going to make this anytime soon or next few years. It takes a lot of work. You have to cut the silver, you have to write and chant, and sometimes you have to select the date. When you roll, you have to chant, you have to There's just a whole lot of work to actually do it. So everyone is individually crafted uniquely. All right. So we're reading out your sincerity in commitment and intentions to joining. Most important motivation to be a better self, to your own self and to be society. That's Kelvin. And Jane said to learn and experience the whole process to improve oneself. Thereafter, share with others with good intention and purpose. Any more? We'll do a 30 seconds countdown. 10, thank you very much. So at the same time, today is actually the last day for the early bird promo for Medicine Buddha Yoga Nidra. It's going to be done online. Some people have this concern like, oh, online, how is it going to be like? So share with you the Hermitage for more than a year. I think the whole of last year, we have been doing everything online. We have weekly sessions, monthly sessions. Everything was done online. And we're still continuing online and sometimes partially online when the SMM measures allows for. So why are people still continuing online? Obviously, there is something there. I don't want to try to sell ourselves, right? There is something there. And as you can see, we invested a lot on the tech setup. So the reason you're still on this, watching this stream, is I choose to believe that the setup is nice. So you're going to have front seats with nice. Master Deron. All right. Yeah, we'll pull out the better gadgets as well. We set this up actually last minute. So we'll put out better gadgets, terms of experience with Master Deron will be very wonderful. All right. So, okay. Sean and Regine, they all actually get the question right. The question about what is the most important motivation. Regine said, be clear on your intention/reason to do it. Yeah. Sean said something similar, your sincerity and commitment intentions to joining. But because Regine, you answered first, so Regine, I'll send it to you in Australia.
Oh,
thanks.
In
Australia,
wow.
yes. Congratulations, Regine. So Regine, there's a few colors, but let me get back and see what other colors we have. There's silver, we have black, and we have rose gold color.
Wow,
yeah, but not rose gold metal, that cannot. But the silver foil is real silver. So try not to don't walk in the shower with it. In fact, any amulets you wear, don't walk in the shower with it. But this one, try not to touch water. All right, you can keep it as a keychain, even below your waist, on your back. Right, takrut. So it means a scroll that's being rolled up. Scroll incantations. I found a modern word blessings in the tube but I don't know how it sounds. To explain to people, I'm not sure.
Cool and cheesy. Nice.
Yeah. So thank you. All right. So that comes to the end. So we'll send the link, or I think you can check on the link down there on the Medicine Buddha Yoga Nidra 4-week program. And if you can't attend all sessions, it will actually be recorded so that you can actually practice throughout the weeks as well on your own. Scholarships are available. So to write in to us at hello@thehermitagezen.com. Or you could just go to our website, fill out the subscription form, and just mail us there, www.thehermitagezen.com. So aside for Buddha Yoga Nidra, we also run retreats and a lot of different kinds of things, right? So recently we just gave talks to some corporate clients as well. The whole point of the Hermitage was to bring Zen into the city. It doesn't have to be a religious way. There's no dogmatism in it. It's just really getting in touch with humans, right? That's the end of it. So thank you, everybody. Regine, I'll just get your address again. And thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you, Master Deron. Thank you. Okay, opening back. Thank you.